The lights of the grand mansion dimmed for the night, the echoes of laughter and clinking glasses from the lavish dinner fading into silence. It was past midnight when Ethan Cole, a self-made millionaire known for his ruthless precision in business, returned to his private study. He had just closed another multi-million-dollar deal, his name splashed across financial news headlines yet again. To the world, he was the definition of success, powerful, respected, untouchable. But tonight, fate had prepared a scene that would crack open the armor he'd built around his heart. As Ethan poured himself a glass of water, a faint sound came from the kitchen. It was soft, a gentle rustling like someone quietly opening a fridge door. He frowned. Everyone should have gone home by now. The staff was dismissed hours ago. Curious, he walked toward the sound, his polished shoes silent against the marble floor. When he reached the half-lit kitchen, what he saw made his breath catch in his throat. Kneeling by the counter was Maria, his housemaid. Her trembling hands clutched a small plate of cold leftovers, scraps of pasta and a few pieces of chicken from dinner. She was hiding behind the counter, eating in hurried, silent bites, tears streaking her tired face. For a moment Ethan froze. She didn't see him. He could hear her whisper a quiet, "Thank you," under her breath before taking another tiny bite, as if she hadn't eaten all day. CTA1. Before we go further, make sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe, where real stories touch your heart and remind you of the power of compassion. Dinch, Maria. Ethan's deep voice broke the silence. The woman jumped, the fork slipping from her hand as the plate crashed to the floor. She gasped and fell to her knees, stammering apologies. "Sir, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Please don't fire me." Sir Ethan stepped closer, his brow furrowing. "You're hiding to eat leftovers." She nodded, eyes glistening. "I didn't want to waste food, sir. I was hungry. I'll clean everything, please don't tell the head housekeeper." Her voice cracked with humiliation. Ethan noticed her hands, thin, calloused, trembling from exhaustion. He'd seen her around the house for months but never really looked at her. She was always quiet, efficient, invisible, one of those faces in the background of his busy life. Now, she looked fragile, a woman who carried the weight of 1,000 struggles in silence. "Maria," he said softly, "when was the last time you ate a proper meal?" She hesitated. "This morning, sir. I only eat once a day. Food is expensive, and my son, he needs school fees and medicine." Her words hung in the air like a blade through glass. Ethan's mind raced. Here he was, living in a mansion that could feed 100 families, while the people who kept it spotless were going hungry under his roof. But instead of anger, what he felt was shame, a deep, heavy guilt pressing against his chest. He knelt down beside her. "Maria, get up. You don't have to hide to eat. No one in my home should ever go hungry." She blinked, unsure if she'd heard right. "Sir?" He helped her to her feet. "Sit down," he said gently, pulling out a chair. "I'll make you something fresh." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "No, sir, please, you can't." But Ethan was already at the stove, awkwardly rummaging for pans. He hadn't cooked in years, but tonight he did. He made a simple omelette and toast, clumsy but sincere. When he placed the plate in front of her, her lips quivered, and tears rolled down freely. "Why would you do this for me?" she whispered. "Because," he said quietly, "I forgot what it means to be human." That night Ethan didn't sleep. He sat in his study long after Maria left, her words echoing in his mind. "My son needs medicine." He opened her employee file and found a detail he'd never noticed before. Her emergency contact listed as Daniel Alvarez, 8 years old, her son, no father, just her. The next day, Ethan drove to the hospital Maria had written in her file. The nurse at the reception confirmed it. Daniel was being treated for chronic asthma, and the bills were months overdue. Ethan stared at the fragile boy sleeping in a hospital bed, an oxygen tube under his nose. The child looked so small, so tired. He couldn't stop thinking. While he was busy chasing millions, someone in his very home was fighting just to breathe. That realization broke something inside him. When Maria arrived at work the next morning, she found Ethan already waiting in the kitchen. He looked different, softer somehow. "Maria," he said, "why didn't you tell anyone about your son?" "I didn't want to lose my job, sir. People don't hire maids with sick children. I needed to stay quiet." Her voice trembled as she spoke, but Ethan could only nod. He reached into his jacket pocket and handed her a white envelope. "This is for Daniel's treatment, And from today on, you'll have double your salary, full medical coverage, and meals for you and your son. You don't owe me anything." Maria froze, speechless. Tears filled her eyes, spilling over as she whispered, "I don't know how to thank you." "You already did," Ethan said. "You reminded me that kindness is worth more than money." Days turned into weeks, and something began to change, not just in Maria's life but in Ethan's. He started spending his evenings at the hospital, reading stories to Daniel, helping with his recovery. He found himself laughing more, smiling more, feeling alive again. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about deals or profits. He was thinking about people. One evening, Daniel looked up at him and said, "Uncle Ethan, Mama says you're her angel." Ethan smiled softly. "No, buddy, she's mine." When Daniel finally recovered enough to go home, Ethan threw a small celebration at the mansion. The staff gathered, laughter and music filled the air, and for once, there were no lines between the millionaire and the maid, only human hearts, equal and kind. Later that night, Ethan stood alone on the balcony, watching Maria and Daniel laugh together in the garden below. His heart swelled with a strange mix of peace and gratitude. He realized that success without compassion was just another kind of emptiness, and that true wealth wasn't measured in dollars, but in the lives we touch.